right, now more specific to maybe some of the individuals that you're working with, again, orthopedics and total joint replacement, persistent pain, or even individuals in sport performance, return to sport or elevating sport performance so that they can improve their game. The clinical problem or goal you'll see in the left-hand column may mean, for one example, that an individual has some cognitive resources that are allocated toward a new assistive device. I've never walked with a walker or crutches, especially when we're instructing crutches. We definitely see people being very cognitively, let's just say, bombarded or burdened. The mechanism of that new assistive device is actually reducing their access to automatic movements because it's reducing their available attention. You will notice that people dramatically slow their walking down the first time that they're trying to negotiate the sequencing in an assistive device. So these are all without a brain injury. We can see that individuals will experience cognitive motor interference. Let's look at the second one. What if your distraction was merely pain? And I should not necessarily say merely, but let's say that your distraction is in fact fear or pain, a lived phenomenon that you have in your brain that you're worried could reoccur or is currently occurring. Either one of those could be distracting because they occupy your cognitive resources, your working memory, your ability to devote attention elsewhere, and therefore your cognitive reserve is lowered. And so you should be less capable of engaging proficiently and moving as healthy as you can or safely as you can in a distracting environment. Let's go down to the third one. What about return to sport after any form of injury? And then the bottom one, we're going to talk about returning back to sport in the case of surgery. All right, let's say you've sprained your ankle, you've endured a knee injury, but you've recovered, you've pulled a hamstring, and you're trying to go back out onto the field some days or games or weeks later. These diffuse injuries can be occupying of your cognitive resources and your attention. You can be very internally focused on the problematic body part, and that can make your movement less automatic and therefore can actually command more negative attention toward that body part, which subtracts away from your ability to listen to that coach, to hear a teammate that's calling out that they're open. Now, how about an individual who's recovering sensation after a discopathy, problem with peripheral nerves as they're exiting and, in this case, entering the spinal cord? We could have a multifactorial loss in this situation where we have reduced processing speed, which doesn't leave my active automatic kinesthesia available to me. It influences my sensory abilities. Therefore, I have to maybe look down at and require some greater attention from my brain or actually shift weight away from. And so therefore, my attention is being occupied at avoiding that body part or getting something better from that body part when I'm not getting it automatically from sensation. So that again occupies cognitive resources. And then finally, in a related situation, relearning how to weight shift back toward normal in recovery from an anterior cruciate ligament reconstruction. You can have any number of things that are occupying your cognitive resources there, including fear of re-injury, pain that you're actively experiencing, kinesthesia that is reduced over onto that body part, which is common and concomitant. All of those can increase the cognitive and attentional reserves, leaving fewer of those reserves available for my world and pitch and sport and court and field and diamond.